All right, here's your learning target for today. Today, we'll review the concept of inferences and we'll practice making inferences based on the speech Sharing the American Dream by Colin Powell. I will know I'm successful when I can correctly infer Powell's feelings about his topic and can provide the text evidence that helped me make this inference. Okay, and then we're going to spend a little bit of time using what we've learned in this and then some of our other texts to gather evidence, and I'm going to leave you to that just individually. You'll see that we have a couple of things on our agenda. Go ahead and on your screen, click Next. Now, this there is a video and a discussion, okay? And I am, it's 2 minutes long, but I know that today, thanks, Ariane, I appreciate it. I know that my internet is not doing super well today with streaming, so I'm actually going to set the timer. I'm going to put my timer up as my shared screen. What you're going to do is just watch this video on your own screen. It's only 2 minutes, and then you can respond to these questions. So this is an interview. This guy over here with on the right-hand side is Colin Powell. All right. You're going to answer these 3 questions just in the discussion. Don't worry about replying to anybody else because it's just it's going to be text-based. Okay, it's going to be based on this video, so video-based. Who is Colin Powell? What qualifies him to talk about the American dream? And then, since he spent a majority of his career in the Army, what caused him? So this is a cause and effect question. What caused him to change careers? Okay, so I'll put a little bit of music on. We'll just let it play, and I'll put since you're going to want, oh, actually, no, I won't put any music on because you're going to be watching a video. The video is 2 minutes. I'll give you 2 minutes for that. And then there are 3 questions, let's say probably about 4, no, you need more than that, 5 minutes for that. So I'll make a new timer for 7 minutes. All right. I will be here so that if you have a question or something's not working, let me know and we'll be good to go. You can get started. I'll create our new timer for 7 minutes. Oh, actually, there was one right there for. Oh. How about 7 minutes and 30 seconds? There you go. Just sent you a quick message in the chat. And if you just joined us, you're watching the video and answering those 3 questions in the Do Now. Yes, Bree. Yes, you do. Answer the questions and just reply. Yes, McCarran. You can tell like some of the things that he did. All right. I was reading some of your responses. There's still a few more people that need to submit. All right, let's look at what you said. Okay, yeah, I have no idea what just happened. I got like booted and you all unmuted. Hey, that rhymed and it wasn't intended to. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what just happened. Yeah, that was really really crazy just what just happened. Okay. Um that was not expected, and I told you like that my internet is acting up. It's been like this for I don't know, not a week, but maybe like 3 days. I've had really low connection, and I'm a hardwired right in. So normally I have really fast speeds. I don't know why. Okay, let's get back into this. All right, now I can see you all. Thank you for being awesome people, though. Like, and I hope that whoever fell down the stairs, it sounded like you were in a hurricane or something. I don't know. I hope you're okay. Shirley, I don't know. I don't have I don't have your previous message. I don't know what you're asking. You probably chatted. Oh yeah, definitely. And you don't have to ask that. You're good. Okay. So let's go back to your three questions. Who was Colin Powell? We answered that one. And I'm just kind of going by what you all said. Let me refresh this. I'm working on the page over here on the second screen. Good, good, good. We got lots of people to put in their answers now. So what qualifies him to talk about the American dream? And it looks like a lot of you said it was because of his job. Yes, yeah, Isaac, a veteran is correct. Good. It looks like you said it's because he was the secretary to the president and he was a general. And actually, if you think about it, Colin Powell can kind of talk about the American dream because of his life experience, his life experience as being in the army, but then being called up over and over again. Yeah, and he became a person of influence. Thank you for putting that word in. Over time, he did his job well, and really, he's a result of we say like hard work and expertise and being thoughtful. Did you catch that part? And I know he used the word chinos, which is like just jeans. But he went, he got called to meet with the president and he was wearing jeans and a polo shirt. And the idea being, you don't usually go and meet literally the most powerful man in the world if in jeans and a polo. You wear like a suit and nice clothes. But because of his influence and how he grew as a person, I think that's what makes him qualified. He's a product of hard work, and he's achieved what we would call quote unquote the American dream. All right, and then lastly, what caused his career to change? Yeah, I agree with what most of you said in here. The president wanted him to work for him. Okay, the president he was recruited, he was seen as someone who was valuable and intelligent. Awesome. Your answers are very good. Go ahead and click next on your screen. So now that we know a little bit about Colin Powell, and again, I'm going to, in just a minute, ask you to do the same thing. I'm going to not play a video. I'm going to let you run it on your own machine. I think that will be better just given the circumstance today, especially with the disconnection stuff. All right, so we're talking about drawing inferences and making inferences and drawing conclusions. And your notes right here are very, very simple. There's not a lot to say about this. We do this every day. You evaluate things constantly. You decide whether or not a place is safe or friendly or dangerous or if it's going to be fun, or, like you constantly make inferences and you draw conclusions, whether you mean to or not. So when you make an inference, and these are two sides of the same coin, they're very similar, but their definitions have a little nuance. They have like a little detail that's different. So when you make an inference, you put together what you already know plus something that you've read or observed. Okay. So let's think of this like you get invited to go on a trip with somebody. Okay. And they invite you, and you've decided, or you decide whether or not you want to go, right? You're going to take what you've observed, okay, what the trip is going to be like, and then you compare that with your database that's inside your brain, and you evaluate it. So like if you get invited to go to the Grand Canyon and you're afraid of heights, you may not want to do that, right? You get invited to go out, and I tell this story every year. I think this is I think it's personally funny. Mrs. Mitzel and I went out out west, and we had an opportunity to go to the Grand Canyon. And they have this thing called the Skywalk, which, if you've ever been there, you might know what I'm talking about, or if you maybe saw this on TV. The Skywalk is a glass floor that goes out over the Grand Canyon, and it's a mile from the floor to the bottom of the canyon. You are a mile in the air above the ground. Okay. So you're like up on the cliff, you walk out on this glass thing, and then you go back around, and then it's a loop, right? And I am not afraid of heights. I think that they're really cool. I think the perspective and the view is amazing when you're really high up. And I said to Mrs. Mitzel, if I can get a ticket to do this thing, and she is not a fan of heights, if I can get a ticket to do this thing, then I don't care if it's, and I said this, I don't care if it costs $100. I want to do it. I want to go to the Grand Canyon and do it. So we looked up the prices, and Mrs. Mitzel says, so how much is it? And I clicked on tickets, and I said, it's $100. I don't want to do it. So even though I had pre-evaluated it, when I was met with the reality, something that I observed and something that I already knew I would enjoy that. But then when I observed how much it cost, my conclusion, or sorry, the inference that I made was, it's a little too expensive for me. Okay. Drawing conclusions is very similar, right? You could probably use that same example to explain a conclusion. I'm going to put together the fact that the ticket costs $100, and my desire to do that is, moderately high. But putting those two things together, it did not make logical sense to spend $100 to go walk up high. So that's all you're doing. Now, when you're reading a text, you're going to make a good inference, right? You're going to try to guess what the person was thinking or feeling or intending. The way that you'll do that is you'll start with good information, right? The correct information. And then you're going to connect it with smart thinking. All right, I don't need to say very much about this other than if a student makes an incorrect inference, it's because they just randomly pulled something out of the text that is not evidence. Okay, let's go and actually let's engage with this. All right, go ahead and click next. Now this is the part, again, I'm gonna pause my my video and put myself on mute. And just like before, I'll be in GoGuardian, just kind of scanning along and looking. All you're going to do, all you are required to do, is to read this. Now, this is Sharing in the American Dream. Colin Powell gave this speech. I am going to give you the option of playing this video, which is him actually delivering the speech. Just like when we did the Jason Reynolds, you watched the speech and had the text. I gave you the same thing. I gave you the speech, I gave you the text. What I don't want you to do is just watch the video and say that that counts as reading it, because it doesn't. If you play the video, I want you to follow along. It'll help you process the information. Okay. If there are any questions, you can put them in the chat, and I will, just like before, I'll unmute and I'll immediately respond to you. If there are no questions, go ahead and you can get started. I'm going to give you that 7 minutes again. Actually, I'm going to give you 8 because I think the video is 7 minutes. Good morning, Miss Holmes.
Good morning, family. I apologize for my lateness. I got pulled to another class, so I apologize.
Totally understand. Miss Holmes, we are in the module for today.
Mm-hmm.
We are at, sorry, I was going to tell you, we are on the Explore, Evaluate, Sharing in the American Dream.
Okay.
And the students are reading the text. There's the audio is provided.
Okay. Cool.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Thanks. Yep. No problem. Azane, thank you for putting that in the chat. Yeah, I gave you guys 8 minutes. I'm gonna just check over and go Guardian to kind of see where you all are in the text. Actually, I'm just gonna restart our timer. There you go. If you need me, just put it in the chat. Let me just remind you, if you're listening to the video, scroll with it so that you can hear so you can read along. It'll help you process the text better. Awesome. I'm seeing folks saying that they're done. That's great. Excellent. For some folks, I just went in and I opened the tab for them so that everybody knows, so that everybody's on the right spot, because we're going to scroll to the bottom. Excellent. If you've just told me that you finished or that you're done, we've got a minute, just over a minute left. This will give people enough time to get caught up. All right, if you're all finished and you're at the bottom of the screen, you're going to see there's a button. Go ahead and click that to open sorry, I can't talk. Open our assignment. Thank you for letting me know. All right, 3, 2, 1, and it's done. All right. Scroll to the bottom of your page and you're going to click to open the assignment for today. All right, this is where we're going to wrap up our inferences. Now, let me show you something. I made the recording for this of this lesson already this morning, and I gave the people that aren't here in class and that don't have the Ariane, that's fine. Ariane, I'll have the video posted a little bit later today. I gave them a quick tip. All right, so you've already read this or you've listened to it and you followed along, and I want to just show you something really quickly. Let me delete this out or copy this out, and then I'll put it back in. We're going to read a section of text, or you're going to reread a section of text, and then you're going to answer these questions. And if you look, the questions for each section are the same. Okay, so they're going to say, the first one, what's the main idea or the central idea? Same thing. How did you know it? How did you know that's the main idea? All right, Ariane, thank you. Then it's going to ask you, what was the tone of this section? Now, here's the part where I anticipate some people just getting stumped a little bit, but they know how to do this. If you remember, the tone is how the author feels about their topic. So how does Colin Powell feel about the topic that's up here? Okay, we're going to come up with a topic and the main idea. If you go to the very bottom of this page where it says part 2, making an inference, this is where you're going to make your own inference. There's a whole bunch of feeling words or emotion words. Remember that the tone is how the author feels, right? The emotion that the author has regarding the topic. You can choose from right here. These are just some of them. But if you look, sad, happy, hurt, confident, energized, right? Those are topics, or sorry, those are categories of emotions or feelings. But you can like scroll through them or look through them and choose a word that's appropriate. Okay. McCarran, I can, yeah, give me 1 second and I'll look over at yours and see. McCarran, click on the blue text at the top and see what's going on up there. Okay. So anyway, the little hint, the little secret is pull one of these words for the author's tone, and then we'll put that in, and then we'll highlight the text that backs that up. And then the second thing is part 2, where you have to do this on your own, making an inference. If you do the top part correctly, you have like good tone words and you've found real evidence, then like I said, when you make your inference, you'll be able to reuse some of that information. So this isn't like a totally new assignment, like a second assignment. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind, and we'll be good. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's model the first part up here at the top. Then I'll set the timer and I'll let you work for about 15 minutes, and then we'll come back together and see how you're doing. All right. Over 200 years ago, a group of volunteers gathered on this sacred spot to found a new nation. In perfect words, they voiced their dreams and aspirations of an imperfect world. They pledged their lives, their fortune, and their sacred honor to secure inalienable rights given by God for life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. They pledged that they would provide them to all who would inhabit this new nation. They look down on us today in spirit, with pride for all we've done to keep faith with their ideals and their sacrifices. Yet, despite all we have done, this is still an imperfect world. We still live in an imperfect society. Despite more than 2 centuries of moral and material progress, despite all our efforts to achieve a more perfect union, there are still Americans who are not sharing in the American dream. There are still Americans who are not sharing in the American dream. There are still Americans who wonder, is the journey there for them? Is the dream there for them? Or whether it is, at best, a dream deferred. All right, let's give you the ability to unmute. And let's do the what, so what. Okay, remember the what, so what technique helps us find the topic and the main idea. So we want to find the main idea. What is the topic? What's Colin Powell speaking on? Go ahead. Go ahead. Bree, put something out there. Help, even if it's just the beginning part. What's he talking about? Yeah, you could say that out loud, Bree. You got it right. I want to give you a chance to let your voice be heard. Go ahead and unmute and say it.
American dream.
Yes. Okay, the topic, not the main idea, but she's correct in the topic, is the American dream. So now we ask, so what is he talking about? I'm sorry, what is he saying about the American dream? Great job. Oh, hey, you need some sound effects. Woohoo! Good job, Bree. Okay, so what is he telling us about the American dream? Okay, so he is going to suggest that you can do whatever you want, or you could do anything you want if you put your mind to it. But let's look at our evidence right here. If you're looking at my screen or you're looking at yours, yeah, well done. So here's my evidence, and I'm going to highlight it because this is how I know, okay? He's talking about, there we go. Here's his main idea. There are still Americans who wonder if they have access to the American dream. Okay, I asked, and now it says, how do I know? I ask, what is this about? And this is the information that I found. Oops. So I'm going to show you how I did that. All right, let me give this to you one more time. We did the what, so what. Bree said, what is this about? It's about the American dream, and she was 100% correct. Then I asked, what is this about? Oh, sorry. So then I asked, so what about? I'm sorry, folks. I asked, so what about the American dream? And then I found evidence to support the idea that, yeah, Isaac, instead of the word using, I might say the word achieving, right? I think that's what you meant. Yeah, Americans achieving the American dream. I know that sounds weird to say because we're using the word Americans a lot. Good. So now let's evaluate his tone. Since this is kind of a negative thing, we're going to want to look at negative tone words, right? Scrolling down on my screen and you're scrolling down on yours, you're going to get to that text box. Here are some negative: sad and hurt. Yep, Azane. In fact, I'm going to copy and paste it for you into the chat. So if you don't want to type all of that out, you won't have to. Do any of these words in these two columns kind of speak to you for how he feels about the topic? Yeah, impaired is a good word. I think that he feels like perhaps the um, American dream is impaired or imperfect. He might be a little bit sorrowful. I think that's here over in the sad. I think it's somewhere in between because he's a. Oh, okay, Bree. All right. Yeah, I'll scroll back up for you. Okay. Um, because he's a powerful person and his job is to sort of help correct these things and help work through these issues. I don't know if I would say like he's upset like in a personal way, right? Like he's not, um, he's like, oh, what are we going to do about it? Upset. He's more like, this is a problem, right? He's problem solving. So I think that the two, yeah, like what you're saying is really good. You're getting some good words in here. Let down. Because when we look at the positive words, like he's not inspired, he's not renewed, he's not vibrant. But I think that he looks at the impaired American dream and he may be, yeah, let down by it, or he's upset by it. I think that those, or maybe sorrowful or frustrated. Yeah. No, it does not have to be on the list, but this list kind of helps guide us. So let's go back up and I'll put this in the chat for you. Um, we can use the same term if we want to. There we go. There's the text that I put in my first box. We can use the same tone word. And then the words that we can highlight, I think, here are not sharing. That's a helps us determine the tone. Americans are not sharing in the American dream. Imperfect. Despite. See, we're finding negative words right now. I wish there was a way to double, I guess I'll bold and underline, and then the word deferred. So we'll put in here Colin Powell feels let down by the, what was the word that you put in the chat? Impaired. American dream. Right. I'm going to leave this up on the screen for you. And I'm going to have you finish, just like we did. We looked for our tone words. And Ms. Holmes, I'm going to make you the host because I have to step away really quickly. And that way, if you need to break out, you can do breakout. Okay.
Okay, that's cool.
There you go. And just if you would make me, I think I am a co-host. No, I'm not.
I'll make you co-host.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay. Got salsa in there. Oh, you do? Okay. You get salsa.
Karen, give me one quick minute and I'm going to send you the link directly. McCarran, click on where it says My Drive. And then click on My Drive again. Oh, okay. I'd like you to try to put it in your Newport. Okay, click on your Newport News Public School folder. And then go to the 8 English P3 MITZEL 3, the one with the 3 at the end. And then just make your copy there. And then we'll figure out, and then you can share it back to me after you've made that copy. Perfect. Click OK. And then as soon as your tools load, good, now you should be able to type on it. Sure. Okay, so let's do the same thing. What is he talking about in this section? We'll do the what so what. So he's good. Yeah. He's talking about the American dream again. So now we're going to say, so what is he saying about the American dream this time? So the first one, he was talking about the American dream isn't for everybody, or at least there's people who don't see the American dream as being for them. So the second part, what is he saying about the American dream? And you do have the ability to unmute if you want to talk instead of chat. Yep. Perfect. So it's gonna you're 100% right there. You know, Bree and Raina. Yeah, you actually I'm gonna have to share what you both said. Because you both actually have two halves of it, and your two halves together make the whole. So I'm gonna actually chat to both of you what you both said. All right, just a couple more minutes, and I know there are people that are still working through it. I think there's some folks that maybe just need a little bit of a hand. Miss Holmes, how did you all do in your group?
Look in your chat for a minute. I sent it through chat. Hold on.
Okay. Yes, McCarran. Actually, I'm really glad that you put that in there. That's perfect. Okay, Ray Sean, thanks for letting me know. All right, since there are people that are still working and I'm looking at our time, yeah, let me pause we don't need to like let the other minute run out. Okay, so what we talked about Wow. Yeah, you guys are great. Like everybody's giving me the tone now. Like the people that got over the what so what part, they're like crushing it with the tone. Okay, listen. Here's where we are. Oh, and Miss Holmes, if you have to leave to get ready for your just if you would make me the host again so that the meeting doesn't end for everyone.
I'm glad you said that.
All right, thank you.
Okay, y'all have a good day, babes. I'll talk to you later.
All right, bye-bye. Okay. So here's what we want to do. We just want to replicate what we did up here. Now, I've already read this. You read it. He quotes Langston Hughes' poem, and he does that to make a point, right? He's trying to say, like, he doesn't say anything positive about the American dream. He says maybe Langston Hughes is right, and then he describes it in negative terms. He says right here, for too many Americans, the dream deferred does sag like a heavy load that's pushing them down to the ground, and they wonder if they can rise up with that load. So I'm going to right off the bat, I'm going to highlight that, and I'm going to do it this blue color, just so it stands out from my yellow that I use for my tone words, okay? So here's what I'm thinking. What a couple of us were discussing in our group in the chat was the what is still the American dream. So what is he trying to tell us about it? He says right here, we gather here to pledge that those of us who are more fortunate will not forsake those who are less fortunate. I just want to mark it so it stands out. We are compassionate. That's going to be my tone word. See how I'm kind of doing both at the same time? Caring, that's going to be part of my tone word. We are generous. We will reach down, we will reach back, we will reach across to help our brothers and sisters who are in need. Now, what's the central idea? Well, the topic is the American dream. I think I still have this on my clipboard. Some people are never taught the American dream, so they need to be helped. Or they're never taught that the American dream is accessible. Maybe that's just not been an option for people. We can put his words into context. Who are we talking about? He uses the phrase those who are less fortunate. People who are not in a situation where money and success and things are handed to them. If we're looking for evidence to back it up, he says here, we gather here to pledge that the dream must no longer be deferred, and it will never, as long as we can do anything about it, become a dream denied. I'm going to copy that entire section. This is going to be my evidence. Whoops, how do I know? And since I did type all this out for you, I'll put it in the chat. All right, here it comes. This is to everyone. Right now, we did grab a couple of tone words. And this right here, we will reach down, we will reach back. We're not going to necessarily just pick one word out of there. It's kind of the whole idea. I don't like just highlighting big chunks of text without any reason. But if we look at compassion, caring, generous, and then we will do something. This is what people said in the chat. What's the tone? His tone is determined. He's determined, and he says as long as, and we put that up here in our evidence, as long as we can do anything about it. That's also going to help me out with my tone. Okay. So when we make the inference, it does take a little bit of effort. It does take a little bit of thinking. Now, we have about 5 minutes left. I'm going to let you just finish this up. And folks, when you finish these last two sections on your own, this part is pretty much self-explanatory, right? You're going to plug in the word right here, and then you're going to use the evidence that you used above. Okay. Remember, I told you if you do it right at the top, that the bottom will be easy. All right. Now, let me show you something really quickly. If you would just go right here, just come back to my screen really quick so that you can see what I'm showing you. All right. If you notice, we did not get to this part right here, the evidence collection. Yeah, Bree, I'll actually share a copy. Do the links work for you, Bree? If I put a link in the chat, can you click it? Here you go. Now you should have access. You have viewership, so you can view what I had. Okay. I want you to notice really quickly that there is this little icon next to some things. And it's supposed to be an emoji backpack. And when I use the emoji set, like the backpack looked different. I don't even know. It kind of looks like Mickey Mouse pants, I guess. But anyway, this is the only icon that I added to assignments. These are your graded assignments. Okay. So I wanted you to all be able to like easily find these. I'm in the process of updating the grade book right now. You probably have an NA. It is not updated for you. My goal was to get that done while we were on break. It just didn't happen yet. So during this week, all of that stuff should start to trickle in. And if you find that you're missing an assignment, you're just going to go to the, I don't want to call it Mickey Mouse pants again, because that's what we'll end up calling it. It's the backpack. All right. It is the only little icon that I've attached to any of these things. And you'll see this goes all the way back to the beginning of the marking period. For the most part, everybody is finished with these. There are a few people that may have a couple to get done. Don't worry about any missing assignments until that's been updated, and then I'll give you opportunities to make these assignments up. All right. With that, Shirley, let me just tell you really quickly that there have been several comments, folks saying that they like your hair. So I know I already commented. I know, I'm sorry. I don't mean to embarrass you. It's funny that people put that in the chat because I just commented on it to her and I said that it was pretty cool. I don't know. It's very unique and it's very interesting. Yeah. So the Wednesday assignment is a grade. Typically, your Wednesday assignments will be graded. Just because you all come on, you just knock it out and get it done. All right. When do you have to finish this assignment? If you look at it, I think I set the due date December 7th. It's a week from today. December 7th is Pearl Harbor Day, interestingly enough. Yes. Can I submit? Will it save? The answer is yes, it will. McCarran, if you share it with me, you'll just have to send me a message that says you're done, because I won't be able to grade yours in the speed grader. I'll have to grade yours manually. Okay, folks, it's 11:29 by my clock down here. I'm going to say goodbye to you. If you need to talk to me, you are more than welcome to stay on for a second. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow. Good work. This is not easy stuff, and it's definitely not easy when we're not in person, okay? I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your classes. Bye-bye. Joseph, do you have a question, or are you just waving? I guess you were just waving. Oh. Okay. All right, I don't see any comments in the chat. Goodbye, everybody.